Welcome to Storylight. In today's video, Jacob will tell you how he got connected with someone. We'll also learn some interesting vocabulary and expressions from her story to help you improve your English skills. So let's get started. Listen carefully.
Hi, I'm Jacob, and I want to share with you the rainy day when I got connected with someone. It was the day when the rain was relentless, a steady downpour that seemed determined to soak me to the bone. I glanced at my watch, realizing with a sinking feeling that I was already running late for the job interview I had been preparing for weeks. But as I hurried through the rain-soaked streets, I couldn't help but notice the beauty in the storm. The rain transformed the city, washing away the grime and leaving everything fresh and new. The sound of raindrops hitting the pavement was like music to my ears, a soothing symphony that seemed to drown out the chaos of the world. Despite my urgency, I found myself slowing down, savoring the tranquility of the moment. As I turned the corner, I saw her standing there, a lone figure huddled under a flimsy awning. Her clothes were drenched, and her hair was plastered to her face, but there was a certain grace in the way she stood, as if defying the storm that raged around her. She looked up at me with wide eyes, and without hesitation, I approached her. "Are you okay?" I asked, holding out my umbrella. She nodded gratefully, accepting the shelter I offered. "Thank you," she said, her voice barely audible over the sound of the rain. I couldn't help but notice how beautiful she was, even in her bedraggled state. Her eyes were a striking shade of blue, shimmering with a hint of sadness. I wondered what had brought her out into the rain, alone and vulnerable. "Where are you headed?" I asked, trying to make conversation as we stood together under the umbrella. She hesitated, as if debating whether or not to trust me. But then she sighed, as if resigning herself to fate. "I'm supposed to meet someone," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "But I think I'm already too late." "Maybe they're still waiting for you," I offered optimistically. She managed a small smile, her eyes lighting up with a flicker of hope. "Maybe," she echoed, though her tone was tinged with uncertainty. Without another word, we continued on our way, navigating the rain-soaked streets together. As we walked, she told me about her life. Her name was Emily, and she had recently moved to the city in search of a fresh start. But things hadn't gone as planned, and now she found herself alone and adrift in a sea of uncertainty. Despite the hardships she had faced, Emily remained hopeful, her spirit unbroken by the challenges life had thrown her way. I couldn't help but admire her resilience. Before I knew it, we had arrived at our destination. I glanced at my watch, realizing with a sinking feeling that I was already late for my interview. But as I looked at Emily, I knew that I couldn't just leave her alone in the rain. "Come with me," I said impulsively, taking her hand in mine. "I'll be late for my interview, but maybe we can find shelter together." Emily hesitated, as if unsure whether or not to accept my offer. But then she nodded, her eyes shining with gratitude. "Thank you," she said softly, her voice barely audible over the sound of the rain. Together, we sought refuge in a nearby cafe, seeking solace from the storm outside. As we sat together, sipping hot coffee and sharing stories, I couldn't help but feel a sense of warmth and comfort wash over me. In that moment, I realized that sometimes the most unexpected encounters could lead to the most meaningful connections. And as I looked at Emily, I knew that I had found something special in the midst of the rain. As the storm raged on outside, Emily and I laughed and talked, our conversation flowing effortlessly like the raindrops cascading down the window pane. And in that small corner of the world, two strangers found solace in each other's company, their hearts entwined by the simple magic of a rainy day.
Let's learn some interesting words and expressions. Understanding these words will help you to enhance your English skills. Let's start. Relentless. Always continuing and not stopping or getting less intense. Example: The relentless rain lasted all night, causing flooding in some areas. Sinking feeling, a feeling of disappointment or dread. Example, he had a sinking feeling when he realized he had forgotten his wallet at home. Bedraggled, dirty and untidy, especially from being wet. Example, after playing in the mud, the children were bedraggled but happy. Adrift, without purpose or guidance. Example, after finishing college, he felt adrift, unsure of what career path to take. Resilience, the ability to recover from difficulties. Example, her resilience helped her bounce back from the setbacks in her life. Optimistically, hopeful and confident about the future. Example, she looked at the bright side of things, facing challenges optimistically. Tranquil, calm, and peaceful. Example, the lake was tranquil, with only the sound of birds chirping in the distance. Entwined, twisted, or interlaced together. Example, the vines were entwined around the tree trunk, forming a natural pattern. Drown out, to make a sound impossible to hear because it is too loud. Example, the noise of the construction site drowned out the music from the nearby cafe. Soak me to the bone, to get completely wet. Example, the rain soaked me to the bone and I was shivering. Blur the edges of reality, to make things less clear or distinct. Example, the fog blurred the edges of reality, making it hard to see. Defying the storm, to resist or challenge the difficulties of a situation. Example, despite the challenges, she was defiant, defying the storm of life. Press down on him, to feel weighed down or burdened by something. Example, the responsibility of caring for his family pressed down on him. Eyes crinkling at the corners, smiling with the eyes. Example, she greeted him with a warm smile, her eyes crinkling at the corners. Thank you for watching our story about learning English. Keep practicing and stay motivated, and soon you'll find yourself speaking English more confidently. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more lessons. Until then, keep shining bright with Storylight. Thank you for watching our story about learning English. Keep practicing and stay motivated, and soon you'll find yourself speaking English more confidently. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more lessons. Until then, keep shining bright with Storylight.